Hello, today we talk about the La Liga Santander and of course SD Game Talks. We're going to take you through the La Liga sports events today, what's happening in the La Liga, and of course we're going to go around the Spanish clubs to see what has been going on. Especially we're going to be talking today about Barcelona and of course Real Madrid, and we're going to be comparing right now Vinicius Junior and of course Kylian Mbappe. Vinicius Junior has almost lost ties with Real Madrid this season because of paycheck. So Vinicius was asking for increment in salary, but there was a problem with this price asking. He needed more salary to what he's currently receiving, but the president of the club couldn't make it possible with Vinicius Jr. But here is why Vinicius Jr. was asking. Here is what is causing the whole problem between Vinicius Jr. and the club, and the reason why he's asking for a paycheck. Vinicius Jr. is currently asking to be like Kylian Mbappe. That is where the question, that is where the problem is coming, because you cannot ask for something, and of course everyone can ask for increase in salary. Yeah, he is right to ask increase in salary, but you making a statement, I want to receive as Kylian Mbappe, next whole issue is coming from, because if you ask for increase in salary, it's okay, but when you say I want to receive like Kylian Mbappe, it's a very big problem. But now let us talk about Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. Let's take a look at their stats and what they have done or what they have achieved in the Real Madrid. So right here, we're going to take a look at both players, Vinicius Jr. and Kylian Mbappe, to see their stats. First of all, we're going to start with physiognomy, which is the structure, of course, 75 and 1.7 and 1.6 meters, kg, age 26 and 25 for Vinicius Jr. Let's talk about the main important thing, the classics. They both played, Kylian Mbappe played 34 games and Vinicius Jr. played 30 games, and the minute is 2,900 to 2,200. And discipline, let's go back to discipline. You see Vinicius Jr. with 8 yellow cards and Kylian Mbappe with 3 yellow cards. I'm just gonna insert a pen here, and so if you take a look at discipline, you see Vinicius Jr. with 8 yellow cards and Kylian Mbappe with 3, and we're gonna take a look as well red card, which is 1 all equal. You go down to the first committed, which is 40 to 70, and the offside is 4 for Kylian Mbappe and 10 for Vinicius Jr. If Kylian Mbappe is having 44 offside, that means he's having almost in every game above 1 offside for Kylian Mbappe, which is kind of crazy. I think he needs to work on his positioning. And we're going to look as well the offensive. Kylian Mbappe scored 34 goals. Mbappe scoring 31 goals, and Vinicius Jr. on 11. 8 assists for Junior and 3 for Kylian Mbappe. That means Vinicius Jr. is trying a total of 19 goal contribution, and for Kylian Mbappe 44. I'm talking about La Liga Santander here. I'm not including the Champions League or any other competition. And so if you look at their efficiencies and pass accuracy, you want to see the pass accuracy, which is 1,000 for Mbappe and 800 for Junior, and of course you can see as well the duels. Let's take a look at the defensive, because so many people complain that Kylian Mbappe do not track back, as well as Junior do not also track back. But let's see what is important here is the goals. The goals here are very important. 31 goals. He's actually doing his job. All he needs to do is get the ball behind the net, and of course I'm not saying he cannot track back to assist the rest of the team, but he's actually doing a great job. And you see he has 39 blocks, 21 for Vinicius Jr., 1 interception for 1, the tackles and all whatnot. So if you're taking a look at this comparison, this is what matters: the goal difference, the goal contribution. Kylian Mbappe, first season in the La Liga, and he's having 31 goals and 34 goals contribution, is something wonderful. So if you compare this between Vinicius Jr. and Mbappe, you're not gonna say that he deserves to have this much increment he's asking for. And so in this case, it's very difficult for Vinicius Jr. to just step out and say, I just want to receive the same paycheck with Kylian Mbappe. I mean, he's a very good player, no doubt about that. He plays very good football. I mean, he's been the one holding Madrid very well since before Mbappe joined. He was very good, and okay, he played good football. No one's going to argue about that. But maybe he's judging based on the past performance with the current one, and he's asking for a paycheck. But I think for me, the error there is like that I want to receive a salary same as or more than Kylian Mbappe. Making this comparison is where that problems actually really lies between Vinicius Junior and Kylian Mbappe. Without that, I think Vini and Kylian are almost okay. I mean, but for the salary comparison, Vinicius Junior should be asking a salary that is equal to Kylian Mbappe's salary. That it doesn't make a lot of sense. Vini Junior has more games to prove this season, and of course, maybe then they can do something about that, as well as Kylian Mbappe. His first season in the La Liga, he performed outstandingly, and scoring over 30 goals is something very, very amazing. Now let's talk about the most overrated player of La Liga, which is Lamine Yamal. I think the young boy is a little bit very overrated by the fans, comparing him with the GOATs like Messi or like Ronaldo. It's a lot of pressure for the boy. We're going to look at some statistics of what he has, and we compare if he should be, I mean, given that kind of hype and or maybe overrated as much. Lamine Yamal is a very good footballer, but then let's look down to see his achievements so far, what he's doing to deserve all of this kind of hyping all over. So here is about, we're going to look at the La Liga 2024-2025 season. We're going to take a look at Lamine Yamal. So let's kind of look at the goals scored last season. And you're going to find Kylian Mbappe at the first position. And there's nowhere you can find Lamine Yamal from 1 to 10. Lamine Yamal is not in the list from 1 to 10, but yet he was a very good player. But I'm not saying he's a bad player, but you can't even find him from the goals from 1 to 10, which is kind of like 13 goals. But let's go around to see where we're going to find Yamal, which is he's here scoring for Barcelona 9 league goals for Barcelona. But what makes him great is his age and his performance is good, but the overhyping is kind of crazy for the fans to, just put him in this position and pressure on him. But now let's look at the assists. You're going to find him being the first player and giving 14 assists. It's also very good, something amazing. That is like having 23 goals contribution. The assist is having makes him like he create a lot of chances for Barcelona. But then let's take a look at last year, or let's move over to the Euro. Let's look at also his part played in the European competition, I mean in the national side. And of course, still, if you look here, these are the goal scorers. You cannot find anywhere Lamine Yamal. You cannot find him anywhere here. I think he scored just 1 goal, appearing so much so down here. He scored just 1 goal in this competition. I'm talking about the Euro 2024. Lamine Yamal is nowhere here. But then still, if you look at assists, you're going to find him somewhere. You're going to find Lamine Yamal giving like 2 assists here as well. But if you look at the way the fans, they talk about a young player, the way they hype him is kind of like, different for people that will think he's outstanding, but not up to this level to compare him with these players of today. Let's go back to La Liga. And here as well in the La Liga, let's go to 2023 season, 2023-2024 season. And let's take a look at these goal scorers here. Till last season before this one, you don't find Lamine Yamal here. I mean, 2023-2024 season, you cannot find him scoring a lot of goals here. But still, let's take a look. You're going to find him as well creating some chances, but still not even in the top 5 of the players, of the assist players, not even in the top 5 of the goal scorers last season, 2023-2024. But then the question is, where is all this hyping of Lamine Yamal coming from? Comparing Yamal with Messi and of course Ronaldo, it makes no sense. 2 great players we can talk about in the La Liga this season should be Lewandowski and Mbappe. These 2 players have been so good, and of course Lewandowski as well. He's a very good player. Looking at the statistics from last season, this season, and of course, but he was really dropped down by Mbappe when Mbappe stepped up. I know a lot of people are going to say because he had injuries and all whatnot, but at the end of the season, they both played equal games. So credit to Lewandowski. He's been doing great. Looking at his age, and of course, Kylian Mbappe as well. I think these 2 players are very good. Let's take a look at some of their statistics and comparison. Looking at Mbappe and Lewandowski here, what they've got, if you look at their ages, is 36 to 26, 10 years different. But Lewandowski, looking at his age, what he's doing right now is very, and he played actually Kylian Mbappe 34 games and 34 games as well for Lewandowski, and the minutes, almost the same. Then we go to offensive and look at their goals difference. He had equally 28, just 4 goals behind Mbappe. I mean, 36 years, but just 4 goals behind Mbappe. Mbappe 31, and also he had some kind of 2 assists or so. But if you want to really look at things very well, this is Mbappe's first season in La Liga, and he's breaking this much record in Real Madrid and this much record everywhere. Looking at the statistics, I think Mbappe really did well, as well as Lewandowski. With his age, with his consistency, is very, very good. And gonna take a look as well their passes, and of course, let's take a look at the defensive. You see, this is where Mbappe has a very big issue with the recoveries. He's having Lewandowski 45 and 36 just for Kylian Mbappe. And of course, if you look at the interception, it's 3-1. That is the reason why people are saying Mbappe needs to improve on his tracking back, and then, going back to maybe assist the rest of the team. But so far, Mbappe and Lewandowski are very, very good players that have really entertained the La Liga this season. From last season, yeah, they really entertained the La Liga. So we're looking up this season to see how the challenge is going to be between Mbappe, Lewandowski, and I think, of course, some people say Lamine Yamal, and so it's going to be something very interesting. Real Madrid was very, very bad last season as far as the El Clasico was concerned. If you look at the El Clasico last season, Barcelona absolutely defeated Real Madrid. I mean, Real Madrid couldn't even put out a good performance in any of the El Clasico last season. It was a very, very big disaster for the Madrid stars, and so it was so not good for them, and they had to meet loss. And this season we're going to be looking at what they can do to maybe meet Barcelona's powerful attack line and all whatnot. But if you look at them here, I believe Vinicius Junior still is going to stay, and of course be playing with Kylian Mbappe once again, one more season. And of course Lewandowski and Lamine Yamal, with all the signings, these are just the old faces we're going to be seeing again in the competition. But we're believing to have some new signings, new changes, like for Real Madrid, Gonzalo Garcia. I think he's going to pull up a very, very good performance. And of course, these guys as well, the Barcelonas, they've got Marcos Rashford. It's going to be a very, very interesting season between these two. And we're going to be talking as well Atletico de Madrid, what they have and how they're going to come into the competition. We're going to know if Simon is going to maybe pull out a surprise between these two clubs and then maybe win the title league again. But so far, this is what we're going to have in the upcoming season. Stay tuned to SD Game Talks. We're going to bring to you a lot of enlightening news about football, what is happening in the market, and of course, tomorrow we're going to be looking at what Manchester City and Manchester United are preparing the Premier League. We already talked about Liverpool and Arsenal. I believe those two are still going to be the two contenders for the league this season, but I'm sure Manchester City as well got something to do, and why not Chelsea? Chelsea is already picking up almost every player that is sellable in the market. Chelsea is buying everything, making some changes to maybe, of course, take part in the Champions League after a very long time, and hoping to maybe top the English Premier League. Stay tuned, subscribe to our channel, and see you in the next video.